Kruger man.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And this to the and
What are you talking about?
what's good, you guys? Oh my god. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be reacting to a video by Dr. Psyche. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Title of this video will be four forms of cheating that don't look like cheating. Um, I ain't gonna lie, I'm interested in this one. It's a fairly short video, but Um, yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was interesting enough to check out. So we'll check it out and see what's to it.
There's a kind of cheating that never gets confessed. No messages to find, no obvious betrayal to point at, and yet your body knows something changed. Nothing obvious happened. There was no confession, no clear betrayal, no moment where everything visibly collapsed, and still something inside you shifted. The relationship started to feel different, quieter, less safe in a way you couldn't fully explain. You kept telling yourself that you were overthinking it, that you didn't have enough evidence to feel hurt, but your body wasn't buying that explanation. That confusion is exactly where a lot of people get stuck, because we're taught that cheating has a very specific shape. And when our experience doesn't match that picture, we start doubting ourselves instead. But the nervous system doesn't work with definitions, it works with patterns. And today, we're talking about the forms of cheating that don't look like cheating, but land in the body the same way. The first one is emotional prioritization of someone else. This is when another person slowly becomes the first place your partner turns for comfort, validation, excitement, and emotional understanding. You're
Mm.
still there, still technically the partner, but you're no longer the emotional home base. What makes this so confusing is that nothing inappropriate has to be said for this shift to hurt. There may be no flirting and no obvious boundary crossing, just a gradual redirection of attention and energy. An attachment doesn't measure closeness by titles or intentions, it measures it by priority. So, when emotional availability consistently flows somewhere else, the nervous system reads that as a loss of safety, even while the mind keeps insisting that you shouldn't feel threatened. Another form shows up as secrecy disguised as privacy.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't fully understand that first one. I think they're saying like I don't know if they're talking about when you emotionally prioritize someone else to the point where you're putting, basically you kind of rely on them, and then that they kind of back off, and you no longer feel like you can rely on them, so it feels like cheating. I don't know. I feel like I gotta go back.
But the nervous system doesn't work with definitions, it works with patterns. And today, we're talking about the forms of cheating that don't look like cheating, but land in the body the same way. The first one is emotional prioritization of someone else. This is when another person slowly becomes the first place your partner turns for comfort, validation, excitement.
Where they're saying your partner turns to somebody else for validation and comfort instead of you. Oh snap. Okay, I think okay.
Of someone else. This is when another person slowly becomes the first place your partner turns for comfort,
Oh,
validation, excitement, and emotional understanding. You're still there, still technically the partner, but you're no longer the emotional home base.
oh yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta feel terrible to be basically in a relationship with someone who doesn't really go to you for anything. You're not their safe space. You're not, the person that makes them feel comfortable. You're not who they come to after a long day and want to lay up with. Well, I mean, you may be laying up, but want to, talk to and confide in and still keep that relationship going by feeling like you can trust each other with your deep thoughts and whatever you're dealing with. Also, just being that person that they feel like they can go to about anything. The person that they, when they have a joke they want to tell, they come to you. When they have like a cool idea, they come to you like they're, like the relationship going to really not feel like a relationship. And also, who else are you going to for that? I mean, if it ain't a family member, it's definitely some form of cheating emotionally. Cause what? I mean, if I slowly but surely started to realize I'm not that person for you anymore, like I would definitely be asking I would be asking quickly. Like what is going on? Like you don't talk to me about nothing, you don't come to me about nothing. Like what the hell is going on? We don't even we don't joke around, we don't, like what the hell? Yeah, you're definitely gonna notice that change, and it probably won't take that long if you're really invested in that relationship.
What makes this so confusing is that nothing inappropriate has to be said for this shift to hurt. There may be no flirting and no obvious boundary crossing, just a gradual redirection of attention and energy. An attachment doesn't measure closeness by title.
But I feel like it's gonna. Let's see. I mean, I felt like that again. I'm assuming we're talking about somebody who's not your family. Is I feel like if you're going to them with stuff that you used to come to me with, when it comes to just that certain level of comfort, the joking, like, I feel like it's gonna seem like flirting to me. I'm gonna be honest, like especially because this is stuff that's damn near supposed to be. I mean, not exclusive to me, but it's supposed to be with you're supposed to have that type of relationship with me in a way where it feels special. That I was your safe space, that I was, your home, like I was who you came to about, whatever. And it's hard to believe that you can do that with somebody else. Again, that's not family. But even if it is, it probably would still hurt. Knowing that you were that person and now you're not. Unless, assuming that's how y'all relationship is, there's certain people who don't want to hear none of that. They don't really care to be that. They just kind of, their relationship is different. Every relationship is different. But assuming that is how y'all were, where y'all come to each other about everything, and then it's gonna feel like boundary crossing. It's gonna seem to me that it will be boundary crossing. Just basically going to someone else, especially if it's someone in particular, about all of your stuff, and doing all the stuff that you used to just be comfortable with me doing with me. Now you're, you know, not everything, but the things that made me feel like that you trusted me, you cared for me in a certain way where you felt safe with me, and that I'm like your person. The things that would reassure me that you're fully in this relationship, and that you see me as a person that you can trust and come to about whatever. Like I just feel like it's hard to see that as not crossing boundaries if you're doing that with someone else. Again, that's not family, but even if it is, it probably would still feel the same.
Boundary crossing, just a gradual redirection of attention and energy. An attachment doesn't measure closeness by titles or intentions, it measures it by priority. So, when emotional availability consistently flows somewhere else, the nervous system reads that as a loss of safety, even while the mind keeps insisting that you shouldn't feel threatened. Another form shows up as secrecy disguised as privacy. Everyone deserves privacy in a relationship, but secrecy is something different. Privacy is about having a sense of self. Secrecy is about withholding information to avoid discomfort, deleted messages, minimized interactions, details that only surface if you ask the exact right question. You're told that it's nothing, but you can feel the gap between what's being shared and what's being held back. And the reason this hurts so deeply isn't because you're suspicious by nature. It's because the brain associates hidden information with threat. When something important
Yeah, this kind of remind me of you come into a room and she's like doing that with her phone, or maybe if she was having a conversation with her friend, and then you walk in the room and they get quiet and now they don't got nothing to say, or little subtle stuff like that. It's like it could be nothing, but it's seeming kind of weird. It's seeming like you hiding something. Like, yeah, it's your business. It's your phone. Do what you want. I'm not even the type to check phones. I'll find out how I find out. But it's just like, when you start moving like that, it's definitely going to lead me to believe that you might be doing something you're not supposed to be doing, even if you're not. It just looks suspicious, and it's definitely going to make my trust level go down when it comes to my woman.
kept out of view, the nervous system fills in the blanks automatically. Not out of jealousy, but out of self protection. Even if nothing inappropriate is
Yeah, you don't want
happening,
to get
the lack of
played.
transparency alone can register as betrayal. A third form of cheating is intimacy being redirected. This isn't about physical closeness, it's about access. It's about the deep conversations that no longer happen with you, and the curiosity and playfulness that used to live inside the relationship, but now seem to show up somewhere else. You're still together, but the emotional texture between you has thinned. What hurts here
Mm.
isn't insecurity, it's grief, because bonds don't usually break all at once. They weaken when intimacy stops being shared equally. So, when your partner builds depth elsewhere while the connection with you stays shallow, your system experiences that as loss, even if the relationship technically continues.
I mean, there damn there is loss. That's like that's one of the biggest things that keep a relationship afloat. Not being able to be playful with each other and laughing and joking, having deep, serious conversations. Again, this goes back into the first thing. Not really feeling like you're their safe space, not feeling like you're the one that they feel the most connected to on a romantic level. And when it comes to your relationship that y'all built, like it will start to feel like it's dwindling away when one of the main things that keep it afloat and keep it interesting, keep it fun is now being directed towards somebody else. And it's not really there with y'all. You know what I mean? They still could be fully committed to you and still love and care about you. It could just be a dry spot where it's just kind of boring. I just, you know, and that's okay. But there's nothing wrong with boring. But it could just be in a part, in a place where they're kind of used to you, and you know what I mean. The spark is kind of dying down. Y'all have gotten used to each other. Y'all know y'all scheduling, y'all routine. And it becomes kind of like, okay, well, I kind of need something like new to spark things up. And it's not like in a I'm trying to cheat type of way, but I just I don't know, met somebody at work and they just because I guess because they're new, they just seem so interesting, which I think is honestly still very bad and a bad sign. But I can see how it would make somebody feel some type of way. And I think that that's something y'all would need to discuss and kind of rebuild that spark instead of you building that with someone else. And I don't know, because if you see, especially if you see that interaction between like your person and another person, and it seemed like the way they're talking and interacting is how y'all used to be, or either early on in your relationship or, before it kind of got dry a little bit, because y'all just got, again, into your routine and y'all used to each other, you definitely gonna think they're cheating or something's developing here that's going to eventually turn into who could put it could potentially turn into you losing this person and I'm going with them because this again not saying that's what's going to happen, but I could see how you could start to perceive it that way and feel that way.
Form is defensiveness instead of repair, and over time, this one causes the most damage. You try to express that something feels off, not to accuse or control, but simply to restore closeness. And instead of reassurance, you're met with defensiveness. You're told that you're overreacting, that you're being insecure, or that you're expecting too much. But trust doesn't grow through dismissal, it grows through responsiveness.
No, 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 no. Yeah, you don't do that. Don't don't do that because now I'm gonna really think that you're doing something. I'm gonna feel like I got every right to think that you're cheating now. You overly on on somebody else and having you laughing and joking with them, telling them all your deep stuff, and I can't get none of that. And I'm with you, and making sacrifices and compromises for you, and with you day in and day out, doing being consistent and doing what I'm supposed to do for you. It's like and fulfilling my end of the agreement of our relationship, in terms of our relationship. Absolutely not. You're not gonna come on me like that. Absolutely not. Because whatever doubt I had that you were doing anything you weren't supposed to do with this person is now out the window. Now I'm definitely gonna think that you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Comfort is consistently met with defensiveness, the original rupture never gets soothed, and the body stays on alert. Over time, the nervous system learns something painful, that bringing up hurt leads to more distance rather than connection, and that's destabilizing. Repair is what restores safety after a rupture, and without it, trust quietly erodes. Here's the reframe that matters. Cheating isn't only about physical acts, it's about loyalty, transparency, and emotional safety. So if something consistently makes you feel unseen, unchosen, or quietly abandoned, your reaction isn't insecurity. It's a signal. The nervous system is incredibly precise. It tracks where energy flows, where emotional closeness lives, and whether safety is repaired or avoided. You don't need a dramatic event to justify your feelings, and you don't need proof to honor your experience. Sometimes nothing officially happened, and yet something was lost. Understanding that doesn't mean jumping to conclusions. It means listening to what your body already knows and deciding what kind of connection actually feels like home. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and leave a like.
That's it. Okay. Yeah, man. W video. Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna subscribe to this channel too. That was a good video. But yeah, at the end of the day, I believe that if you really want it to work, you're gonna do what you need to do to keep that relationship afloat. And expect there's gonna be times where it's just gonna kind of feel like same thing day in and day out. And it might get a little boring. You might, lose that excitement, but you cannot expect that excitement is the person you plan on spending a lifetime with. So, it's gonna have drop spots. It's gonna have times where you may feel a little bored, you're not feeling it. But, I guess the point is to stay committed to it anyway, and find out what different ways that you can enjoy each other and different things you can do to have fun. um and also while you're on that grind trying to build up, and unless you're already there, but just, I don't know, I feel like you should just make fun out of whatever, like anything that y'all are doing together. Make it fun with each other, and try to remember why y'all fell in love with each other in the first place. And I think y'all be all right. But I think the basis of a relationship, you gotta have respect, for each other, and y'all both gotta want it to work. But yeah, that's been my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm out.